Try this stream again. Apologize earlier on.
From the food to just the laws, he said everything is just all fucking backwards, and it takes for somebody to come here to witness that, because when you're here, you're literally immersed in filth. Okay, as this kingdom promotes. I mean, these hoes are trash. They for the streets, and yet they proud. Okay, like being a hoe is the new sexy thing. It's one particular part of this video, and I'm gonna play it. But it was one part of this video that's really so disgusting to the point I'm like, you know what? I gotta respond to this. All right, it's this bitch here. It goes by the name of Hot Girls and Herpes. And this hoe, and she's part of the video too. But this woman right.
Okay, what we got here, this video is called "The Heavenly Father is going to burn these women." And our brother here from GMS, he's going over some videos of these girls. One thing you got to know, what's going on right now in America, this girl right here is being paid to be Hot Girls and Herpes. She's getting paid to make us all look like frivolous, go nowheres generation. Okay, so she's probably hooked up with, well, you know, she's hooked up with Solomon's people in some sort of way. But she's probably working for some church, probably the Catholic Church, to be Hot Girls and Herpes. And what they do is they pump these people forward. You look at their numbers; those ain't their numbers. There can be people that you think, well, they're grassroots. They got 1,000 subscribers. That's more like 100,000. Could be times 100 what you see. It could be, oh, they don't got very many views. So they're hide how they push their useful idiots and their paid shills. This is how it's done. So what they'll do is if they just think you're a useful idiot, they're going to push you. But they don't want people to look at it like, wow, how's he got such big numbers? Or how does she got big numbers? So they're not going to tell the real numbers. They may say, you know, had 300 views, more like 3,000, and climbing. When you're just a useful idiot, but they want people to think you're the legit, real person that's not being puffed up right now. This is how they do that. Now, Hot Girls and Herpes, she's not real. She's paid to, again, demonize our generation here. For every good girl out there that may come on there saying nice things, trying to be good and sweet, guess what? They're not going to push them forward because they want the world to see, they want to see them to see ugly when they think of America. They want to see promiscuous. They want to see stupid and just selfish and vain. That's what they want them to see because we're being demonized so that everyone cheers. You turn on the news, you hear a bunch of horror stories. 75 to maybe 90% of it fabricated. Fabricated. With actors and people sent to demonize this place. But let's get into what he's saying here.
Lucky. This bitch, no shame. She has no shame. No shame, no humility, no nothing. And when you look at some of the shit she posts, and the fact that you got other women co-signing the shit that she say, that shows you right here that we're literally in hell, man. Okay. So anyway, I'm I'm gonna play the video, but I want y'all brothers to read this. This is what this bitch posts. She says, "May my ex pay for the nails I'm gonna grip another man's dick with." And then peep this out. You got bitches in the comment boards that co-sign to this because this is how they feel and wonder why they can't get or keep a man and wonder why men are checking out of dating. Men ain't dating no more. They're like, fuck you, bitch. I'll stay home with my dog and my PS5 and keep my money. And that's just the reality of it is. And the reason why this type of behavior go unchecked is because you got a bunch of simps that will come into the defense of this dog right here, man. That's why you simps, when all hell break loose, all you niggas out there that simp, all you niggas out there that simp for these women, how about Shimi Hawashai is gonna brutally fucking destroy you, man. All right, you people need to get fucked up. Excuse my French. But let me play this video here because according to some people, we rant too much. Like, nigga, fuck you, man. Straight up. If you don't like the way that GMS teaches, don't watch your fucking videos. Fuck you think you is, bro?
Comes in real Robinhood. Download to get started.
Flashback.
I love that I'm gonna post like, oh my god, it's so hot, heat wave. I will be going out tonight. They got air conditioning in the club. I don't care. I will be shaking this ass, baby. I will be outside tonight. I'll be outside tonight. I'll be outside tomorrow. I'll be outside the next day and the next day.
I'll be outside tonight. I'll be outside tomorrow. I'll be outside the next day and the next day.
Yeah, these bitches are for the streets, bro. 95% of them are for fucking streets. And then these be the same hoes that complain, don't no man want me. They the take me as I am type bitches. No matter what, they can have 3 kids, have high body counts, none going for themselves. And yet you supposed to sit back and you supposed to be subjugated to some foul mouth like this, bro. This place is fucking backwards, man.
She belongs to the streets.
Like I said, they got air conditioning in the club. They got air conditioning in the bars.
One wiener later.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting tired of the streets.
I'm getting tired of the streets.
I can't take it anymore.
Like, it's 4th of July. I should be like barbecuing my man today, you know? Hosting a little cookout. No, let's go to a bar. Pay $30 to get in. I mean, like, sure, but what about what I want to do?
And that's what I'm saying. You don't. This is the worst thing you can do is give these hoes white rights and ability to create social media. You give a stupid person a platform, they do stupid things. That's like giving a dog a license to drive your fucking new Mercedes. It's gonna wreck it. It's not even gonna know how to start the damn car up, man. That's what a woman is in this society without any guidance or any structure. Okay, let me get a preset real quick. Let's go here. I'm gonna come back to that Leviticus 21. It's the book of Isaiah 29, verses 16. And it says, surely your things, or surely your turning of things upside down should be esteemed as the potter's clay. Who turned everything around? Esau, through this feminism crap, giving these women rights. A woman have a right to fucking be in submission to her husband and under the authority of a man. The reason why you have so much confusion out here, why you have so many broken marriages and homes and babies out of wedlock is because you give these women license to do what the fuck they want to do. You see, all that's going to change at the drop of a dime. Once this shit finally collapses and finally starts to sink, all this behavior, this shit is going to be done away with overnight, bro. All right, ain't going to be no simps and no police or no crooked ass state's attorneys to bail you women out of your hell that's coming to you. See, you got simps, you got a fucking police, you got 911 that will come and defend you right now. That's why things are the way it is. And Esau knows that. He give these pit bulls license to do what the fuck they want to do, and they're just running around pissing and shitting in the neighborhood, man. And when you try to discipline it, then you the one that got to get reprimanded. Sick of this shit, bro. And it says for the work, it says for show the work of him that made it. It says for sure the work.
We already hose or whatever it is. She's paid shield, and there's a whole bunch of them out there. But we are going to have to reprimand this guy, just like you said. For one, he's playing right into their hands. Playing right into their hands. The people that pay the herpes hole. It's exactly what he wants. Whoever they are, a reaction. But what do they get? What do these people get? What does David's people get? I know he's all Esau. Well, they get eternal understanding. They get eternal grace. They get, you know what I mean? Who are you to judge? That's what they get. But, you know, let's just say this girl was, you know, just out there. Why don't they get it? But, I mean, 1 minute, you know, she's a bulldog shitting all over the place. Now, if tomorrow that's Solomon's daughter, what do you think they would say? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, they may get a little mad out of zeal for Solomon. You're making Solomon look bad. Solomon making Solomon look bad. Don't worry about that. She's making him look good. And we've got to, okay, here's what's going to happen. To move forward, we're going to have to show out as the real men. You know what I mean? And that goes, you know, goes for me too. We're going to have to show out as the real men that, to where our ancestors even step back. That's what's got to happen right now. To where we show them something. If we don't, then we have failed the children on such a level, because we're going into a time where everybody's going to be able to know where you're at all times. Say, your privacy's gone. You know, you don't know what could be listening to you. They could have little cockroaches in your damn cupboard. Can't have a second's peace without some kid, you know, having a chance to sit in on your conversation at the house that you don't get to own, and then sit there and judge. Ooh, EU, you know, doing that shit. EU. There's not going to be any sanctity. You know what I mean? If we're going to have a revolution, there's going to have to be sanctity from now on. And if we're going to have to go into overdrive about that. Absolute overdrive. Now, everybody's saying, well, yeah, you need to follow my version of sanctity. Follow my gods. What did Deuteronomy tell us? Deuteronomy, for everybody in GMS that that believe that you know that's infallible, Deuteronomy said that for Israel they could not bow to the sun and the moon and the stars. When they look up and they see those things, they're not to bow to them. Because why? Because God gave that to the nations as their inheritance. They bow to the sun, the moon, and the stars. So what do you tell me, John? If we're not all, you know, worshiping the same way, or even the same gods, or any of it, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Israel wasn't allowed to have soothsayers and wizards and all that. And, do all this. But what God wanted is he wanted the Canaanites and their god Moloch eliminated. He wanted that gone. Because see, what people do is they confuse him for Moloch. He wanted that cleared up. Just like David did. He considered God of Israel Moloch. That's why Solomon was trained up in the way he went. That's why David named his son after Baal. That's why he was marrying Moloch worshippers. That's why he was in league with Hiram, the Sidonian king, the Moloch worshiper. He thought he had touched upon something grand. Maybe he's a double-headed god. Well, one of them's his god, and the other's Moloch, but he kind of prefers Moloch. He likes to talk to that head because that'll let him do what he wants. For us to get into this sanctity, we're going to have to step back and realize it's not illegal. It's not illegal for those people to worship the way they wanted, be what they wanted. Now, did God want people drinking blood and human sacrifice and being homosexuals? No, he destroyed them himself. Them Sodomites and Canaanites. And he gave orders that Israel was to be the one to get that done for the world, not just themselves. If they wanted to be the hero, there was a price. They had to have more restrictions. I keep hearing people from GMS, how much more would God punish you if he punish us? He'd punish them less. His people have to work harder and get punished harder. It's not how much more would he do it to you. You're the one that's carrying his law. You're the one that's supposed to know better. If you have a kid over and you come into the living room and you find your boy's friends, well, they've trashed the place. Do you whip the boys harder from next door? No. What's the first thing you do if you tell them you get on home? You start taking your belt off, and the one that should have known better, your boy, he's fixing to get his ass. That's how that works in real life, in uprightness. It's not, oh my God, how much more do I want to hurt these kids? No, it's the one whose house this is. That's one that's supposed to have known better. Now, this here is another example of not upholding this sanctity. I hate to tell our brethren here, KC prophets, this is another example of not upholding this sanctity. Because these girls, you know what I mean? Let's say she was real. What if she had some kind of wretched mother that, you know what I mean? She's never heard what you've said and how she should be. Her parents. But the first thing she hears from guys like you is that, well, she's gone. No good. Can't use her for nothing. Don't want her. What's that going to do? There ain't no friends there. Even if she did get offended, let's just say she did get offended by that and she's looking around. What does she know in her heart? There's no love with you. No forgiveness, no mercy. Maybe if she was Solomon's daughter, maybe if you discern that in the spirit, for us to be the new gen, to get on with things. Everybody, well, I don't want to go on with things. We need to blow it all up. The technology, CERN, AI. Do you believe in that stuff? That there's computer programs that ain't just doing what they're told? We have to grow up. I believe CERN is just a prop, just like NASA. You're just listening. They turn CERN on, and time's sped up. They turn it off. Oh, I feel like it's slowing back down. I gotta hear everybody now. They pump out one video saying, "Oh, did you hear? I feel like time's slowing down." Me too. Me too. Oh, I feel it too. And meanwhile, they hadn't even done nothing with CERN because CERN ain't even real. And how are they making you look? You're hypnotized. Hypnotized. And what they're going to use that as is demonization points. They gaslit you. And they're going to say, these kids, man, they shouldn't be having kids. In fact, just blow their shit up. Let me ask you this. If right now, let's just say the Most High resurrected every man from Adam on down right now, and we were standing around looking at each other. What do you think would happen if every man and woman who's ever been alive was standing around looking at each other? What do you think they would say about these girls? That herpes hoe over here, she's the sexiest little nymph he ever laid eyes on. And guess what? If that happened, not only would we not be man enough to take them back from them, because we would just get our ass kicked. If we wanted her back, then think of the women. The women from that time to say, who's left for us? Those women are going to think, hell, I'm more man than he is. That's what would happen in real life, guys. While we're over here EU and every little girl that, she's got a funny little thing she does. Okay, and this one here, I'll give it to him, rip the dick with the hoe hands and the nails and all that bullshit, and see if I can get some other guy to pay for it. Okay, that's pure ugliness. But we're going hyper. We're going hyper now. Any little thing. And I get it. The laws are stacked against us. The way we're going to do that is we're going to have to start speaking up and saying, fuck you. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. We're going to do things our way in the family and just don't try to stop it. And it's going to mean that everybody's going to have to boycott these judicial rulings. And we're going to have to start jury nullifying every one of their shit. You got a guy, he messed around, got a young girl. Well, at 15, give him 20. I want him to go be somebody's girlfriend. I sent him to Sodom prison where you got a bunch of agents pretending to be prisoners. Looking to fuck a dude in the ass as some sort of fine, because that's what's happening in there. There's a bunch of those motherfuckers that ain't in prison. And they love to have someone in their dungeon and pretend that they're God's hand of retribution. Meanwhile, their priests can do whatever they want to with boys. But if you even touch a young girl, down you go. That's their sacred right. That's all they're saying. It's not illegal. It's their right. We got to start looking at these girls as being victims just like us. How many of us, but when we were growing up, sat there and looked at the laws of Moses as our medicine? Most of us none. For one, we were told we're not under that. You know what they were even talking about until the day you finally started reading the book of Moses. Then it came, finally understood what they were saying all that time. Grace, grace, grace. We're not under that. Not under, not under, not. So what did that do? That turned you into a little hellion. And then one day you woke up and you said, damn, this would have fixed it. You know, false witnesses, what they say, what they try to do, and falsely accusing people of things. Being false witness. I seen this, I seen that. No, you didn't. You're a paid actor in an operation. And what was your goal? To demonize a nation. That was your goal. We better wake up. Demonized to the point of elimination and even God only knows what. And rated. That's what they want us. See, what America has become is the whipping boy. Everything wrong, we did it. And everybody's completely content all across the world to be that. Why do you think they're in on all this shit? Yeah, we can just get rid of America. We'll all be happy. But they're the bad ones. Yeah, right. Everywhere you go, it's the same. Everywhere you go, it's the same. They're selfish people, unjust, unfair scales everywhere you look. Stumbling block layers, hoes and queers out the ass. But let's just get rid of America, because that's what's been shown over and over. Hoes with herpes and, all this wild media that oh my goodness. And then if you look at it, you think, well, damn. Have they confirmed any of it? No. Go over there and see what would happen if you screwed up anywhere, and see how they treat you. It'll be bad. Real bad. Just name it. Whatever country. Why do you think the Mexicans come here? Even though they're told, how bad we are. At the end of the day, they know that they come to Texas because, for one, they're going to get way more opportunity. People give them a chance. Over there, you want to do something, make any kind of money, you're probably going to have to suck somebody's dick. In a real life scenario, they got 100 motherfuckers that want your job. Now get down and suck dick. That's what they know they'll get in Mexico. Not in America, not in Texas. No, let's go. You might get someone treat you like a man and not their fucking, gimp. Oh, but, it's all us. And look at our hoes. We're going to have to be more like old men to get through this thing. We're going to have to see like through our ancestors' eyes and see these poor girls for what they are. They've been gaslit. They've been made fools of. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee all of our old grandpas are just going to, he could forgive her easy. If he could trade her for this woman, he probably would in a heartbeat. Even if she, you know what I mean? Even if his old girl, was way more modest. Let's get real and let's wake up. We can find a place for them. We know what to do. And we're just going to have to open our hearts. Know that if it's over for them, it's over for us. We're just pronouncing judgment on our own, on ourselves. And I don't give a damn what they say. All across this place, people are still going to be hard pressed. I don't give a shit, even with Washington stabbing us in the back and undermining us at every turn. I don't give a flying flipping. You know what? The world will still have hell trying to bring us to our knees. Believe that. No, John, you can't even beat Iran. I don't need their military. Look up. My help will come from above. A whole field of stars. You think, well, John, you're Esau, blah, 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 blah. Don't give a shit about any of that. I'm telling you now. The world is judging, and they're not fit for it. None of them. You come to freaking, okay, we're Babylon. Well, it's not so easy to be from Babylon. Okay? Even if we were Babylon. You come to Babylon, and guess what? The very next generation of your children are Babylonians. So fast you can't even do nothing about it. Let them judge over there and think, oh, them dirty Americans, they're the problem. I don't want them influencing. You say the same thing here. It's not easy to ask Abraham if it's easy to be from Chaldea. It's not. It's not easy to walk out of there with an integrity and be separate. Easier said than done. You take all those people judging this country, bring them over here. If they didn't know that they were on some sort of mission to prove that they're, at least they're not an American. Well, you know what would happen? They would be one of these people that everybody's holding their nose at. They don't know where they would add up, where they would come in what place in God's eyes. Excuse me, somebody was waving at me. Sorry about that. Outside, someone thought I was yelling. That's what we're going to have to do. Okay, like I said in another video, we've got to get with these girls. We've got to let them know, hey, they're demonizing us. They think they can judge us. They don't think that if they were us, they would have got lost in this mess. And we've got to have sympathy for them. We've got to, we're going to have to help them do the 180. Like, we're the same as him. We're just like the host with herpes. Um, and I've included myself in this. In 2014, I'd already come away from a lot of. I'd already decided, hey, okay, these prophets are false. They were sent by God to test me, just like the prophets that came to Ahab to get him to go to his death. These prophets have been sent with lying spirits in them. Okay, and so by 2014, I kind of come off uh, that old high horse of our poor girls. It's all their fault really. We can't control them. There ain't no good.
Well, nobody's waving their arms like they want to pour anything.
I've done all that, and I don't remember wanting them to burn and be cooked and all this shit or put on a mask. Disguise my voice around that. I didn't do any of that. But they were just basically all they were was just like Solomon's hoes in a harem together. If you're not with the power structure, you either need power or money, or the biggest damn dick, and even then, you know what I mean. If they can still get up and so it's things that if we work on it, if we think to ourselves, hey, we're just as much part of the problem. We let them go after the wrong way. You know what I mean? After these idols. Here, this GMS guy is casing prophets that, well, he's talking about the herpes and diseases and all that stuff. What did God tell them? The Israelites. That if they took care of them Canaanites, there wouldn't be disease. None of those diseases would he have to be worried about. For one, they would have taken care of most of it. The people who were doing most of the cannibalism, the bestiality, the homosexuality, all that stuff, the people that had the diseases that exploded, thanks to guys like Solomon, they would have been taken care of. So when we're sitting there, she's gone, she's trash. I hope she burns. She's got herpes. Whose fault is that? As an Israelite, I can tell you right now, if I was an Israelite, I tell you right now, it's mine. That's the very first thing I'm going to think. If God asks me, whose fault is that? The answer is me. I'm the reason. Israelites are supposed to be the medicine that the world needed. They were supposed to be the medicine man, taking care of shit. Excuse my language. Instead, they become spreaders of the plague. And now we're sitting in judgment, thinking that, as an Israelite, we get less of we get more grace, and we got to go harder against them. We're the reason that everyone's suffering if we're Israelites. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
Hey, Ray,
like I say, I was guilty of it too. 2014, when I was in Jerusalem, I put that way behind me already, and decided no, I needed to own up. But there was a fellow in the hostel, and he was from Detroit, moved to Israel in the 90s, and he had invited me to some dinners. You know, this is in the middle of the Feast of Tabernacles. I didn't really have any way to celebrate it. I just wanted to be there. And he'd already introduced me to his wife on Skype, and she was from Israel. She was born there. And when we go to the dinners, we're at Mordecai Machlis' house. He's from Brooklyn, and he's got all these people from all around the world. And he does these free dinners at that time during the feast. And you can just come, and anyway, the guy invited me, Shlomo, they called him. His name was Stephen. And we get back to the hostel one night after the dinners. This is late. And he says, "Did you see that Filipino woman at the dinners, the one with the blue dress?" And I says, "Well, yeah, I seen her." He said, "Well, I'm having an affair with her." He looked all sad and stuff, and I said, "Well, I mean, we just spent about a week arguing. He's rabbinic. He's telling me I'm off. You know, slaves can't run away, and like it says in Deuteronomy, and on and on and on. And here he is, and he's acting all sad." I said, "You know, I just couldn't take it." I said, "Tell your wife, man, what do you want me to do? You came to Israel to be a real Jew, didn't you? No, you know, why is this even a problem? It's not against the laws of Moses. Why are you even doing that?" He said, "Yeah, I can't do that." You know, like, yeah, I can't. And it just made me throw up. You know, and I said, but then it just hit me. It hit me. He said, and I kind of felt bad for him. I said, "Well, you know what Isaiah says, don't you?" And now this is at the time, Isaiah, you know, this isn't anything I'm thinking is infallible. And I'd used it, many as the time I'd used it to say that we needed to be polygamous. That's how we're going to get out of poverty. That's how they keep us down. We got all these girls running around. They should be teamed up in our house. And Isaiah was the proof. They're the problem. You know, 6 women, they'll take hold of one man and say, "We'll provide our own food and clothing. And only let us be called by your name and take away our shame." That's what the girls will say. I spew it so fast, or GMS or any of them. And anyways, I quoted that to Shlomo, and he says, "I ain't never heard that." Like he was challenging me again. And I said, "Okay." I went and got my Bible. And I look it up. It's Isaiah 4, verse 1. There it is. It's right in front of me. On that day, 6 women will get taken up. And then, in the steps that it took me to walk over to show him, and I'm pointing at my Bible, it says 7 now. Now, you can say, "John, you misremembered it." This is why this channel is Operation Mandela Effect Outreach. Okay, it's Jerusalem Effect. I know who I was serving. I'm over here arguing for the law. This guy was arguing rabbinic stuff that I hear GMS spew every day. It's basically all their doctrine. Things that I heard at classes that he invited me to during the Feast of Day of Atonement, I heard the exact same stuff. Exact same stuff. That's where you're getting it. You're getting it from over there. The reincarnation stuff, every bit of it, it comes from them. You've got a guy that's in the Prince Hall Masons, and he gets it straight up out of the synagogue. That's where it came from. Sorry. So everybody's waving at me again. Everybody's wondering what's going on. But this is a problem. 2018 is when I first heard the term Mandela Effect. And it was the very first day, January 1st. I opened up my laptop, Mandela Effect. I go to YouTube thinking I'm browse around on YouTube and see what's going on YouTube. Mandela Effect everywhere, Mandela Effect. All the suggestions, Mandela Effect. So what's this Mandela Effect? You know what I mean? I click on it. I said, oh, man, this is good. Because I told my brother when I got back from Jerusalem, I said, everybody got tuned. I told him, I'm John Murdoch now, just like Dark City. Things changed. And people got tuned. And I'm the only one that knows it. He just believed, yeah, okay. Whatever. I didn't know that, anyone called this thing Mandela Effect. 2014. And then I'm seeing people talk about, the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our debts now. And I was thinking, oh, man, this is wild. I'm going to tell them what happened to me. And, they're gonna believe, hey, this is God's judgment. This ain't computers. This ain't none of that. And it was not received. Not received. First off, because of the verse that I said that I witnessed. God doesn't, that's no. That's adultery and blah, blah, blah. That's Old Testament, blah, blah. That right there, that's red flags for me. That was coming from people who were saying they were pastors that believed in the Mandela Effect. I didn't have a testimony. But get this. My grandmother, on my mother's side, she always taught us to forgive us our debts. My mother taught me to say, forgive us our debts. I can remember at least going back to 88. we had to say, forgive us our debts in the Lord's Prayer before we could go to bed. She made sure of it. I can remember saying it every single night. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Now, when I played football here in Texas, uh, everyone reads King James. It's not a Catholic version or Tyndale or whatever. We all said the prayer before every game. That was like everybody did that. You knelt down, say the Lord's Prayer, hope nobody gets hurt. And it was always they always said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And I always said, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. This is in the 90s, before they even say CERN even came on. And I always said, forgive us our debts, and I'd have to pause a second because it takes a whole lot longer to say, forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those trespasses. And a bunch of times, a few times, people looked over at me, I don't really got my eyes closed, I'm looking down, and I see people look over at me. They want to know what I just said. You know what I mean? Because if you're praying and someone says something different, people kind of look at you like, what'd you just say? I'm praying over here, you just said something else. And but I didn't give a shit about that. I wanted to hurt my team in practice just as much as I did the other guys. You know what I mean? So what, it felt like that. And get a little sidetracked. When I in 2018, I'm visiting these people. It's wine bottles now. It's not wine skins. What the hell's going on? It's forgive us our debts. Never heard this. And I was thinking, wow, that's right. It was forgive us our trespasses, and I'd always read forgive us our trespasses. I had never actually read forgive us our debts in the Bible. I just thought it was some kind of old school way that my mother had taught me. It was like an old traditional thing. I asked my grandmother, she was still alive, she's gone now. She passed at 24. I asked mother, I said, where did you learn to forgive us our debts? That was not in the Bible. And she said, well, then, grandma taught us to say it like that. And I asked grandma, I said, where did you learn to forgive us our debts? She said, it's always been forgive us our debts. Always been forgive us our debts. She was born in the 30s. As far back as she can remember, she remembered something that didn't exist yet. Did not exist. She's from another timeline, another universe, whatever you want to say. That's not what's happening here. And some of us are, what's happening is it's intensifying. What we're witnessing is intensifying. It's not D-Wave computers. That's what they want you to think. Just like Pharaoh's positions. I can do that. Oh, I can do that. That's no big deal. No reason to get scared of him. That's what that's about. The more you keep giving them credit for what he's doing, the more you're on the wrong side. The more that you're upset that he's doing it, the more you're on the wrong side too. You should be rejoicing. It'll go back to saying trespasses. It'll go back to saying blind skins. And GMS, you're going to see it go back to 6 women. If you knew that verse, you would know what it says. But that ain't what we need to do. Hear me now. We don't need to have 6 women decide, well, they all got to serve us. We need to be worried about is God, because he is going to be more mad at us. For everything you see Hoes with Herpes doing there, there's a man to blame. First and foremost, her dad. Whether he was there for it or not, and especially if he wasn't. Especially if he wasn't there for it. And I'll tell you what we need to do. And just like I told everybody in another video, and another response video, we need to get any of these girls we can. Any of these girls that we can that understand that what our plan is now. Okay, you can have 8 female relatives, basic ones. 4 of them you could breed with. 4 of them were illegal. You have your nieces, your cousins. You actually even have sex with your grandmother. She wasn't married. And then there's your daughter. This is what we're going to have to do to get out of this, to be the real men. And this needs to be a worldwide cultural revolution here. Not just, GMS or America. Everybody needs to stop what they're doing. Stop their judgment. Stop wondering how we're going to make it, how we're going to bring back the values. I'm going to tell you right now, Don Thomas will tell you how we bring back the values. Okay, we're going to have a jealousness over our daughters like you could never, ever believe. Never believe. And this is how we'll get, our standards as real men again. Because as it is, this is just for the Cubs. That's all this is. Any girl you can get that understands that our boys are going to need slaves. And we're going to have to breed those slaves for them. We don't want to enslave other people. We want our boys to serve our boys. For that, we're going to need our daughters. Okay, we need to take any girl we can, and get in there, pay her car note, whatever. She understands we got to get at our little girls, and we've got to breed. We've got to breed for our sons, her sons, that we're going to have together. We've got to breed them some slaves, her daughter's sons. That's the key. And they can go into business with their mother, whatever, find you a college girl. Don't even worry about what she's espousing. She don't sit there and worship Moloch. Good. That's the one. She'll work. She understands that there ain't no dating our daughters unless we have daughters to go around. Even then, we're probably going to hand them off to her uncle or her cousin. That's what we're probably going to want to do there. If we'll do that in an effort to basically concentrate our Adamic genes back into our own bloodlines, what will happen is we'll receive the grace that we're looking for. We'll get the more part than we've ever. And what will happen, even our ancestors will be there to applaud us at the end of this thing. and we'll have respect. But if we stand around EU and this one, EU and that one, that ain't gonna cut it. That is not gonna cut it, because they're gonna look at us like, boy, basically, are you a queer? You know what I mean? Because to him, she's gonna be, to our ancestors, she's gonna be like the neatest little thing he ever. You know what I mean? They ain't got no miles on it. Barely a wrinkle in it. You know what I mean? What these boys done. That's what, and then again, the women, what do you think the mothers of these girls are going to think? If she's EU, what do you think? You know what I mean? That's an old maid. We're circling the drain, guys. Listening to these guys, you know what I mean? I mean, the guy with the mask on this thing that comes on this video, I mean, I'm so glad I'm not him. I didn't do something like that. Because he didn't save us none. I'm telling you what a better avenue all day long. You say, well, John, you're going to get us in trouble and stuff. We're already in trouble. We've got people that they've already showed us they get away with it. And they're demonizing us openly, impoverishing us, attempting to sterilize us and everything else. We're already in big trouble. There's going to have to be a revolution. And GMS and guys like that, they could be a big part of it. I mean, you guys are going to have to get a little bit, more savvy with believing God's law, because all you've gotten into is understanding prophecy, understanding how to say God's name, and who the Israelites are. And then that's 100% truth. That's nothing. You're going to get into a battle, and it's not going to work. You're going to have Paulus's, full armor of God on, and it's made of plastic. And you're going to look like an idiot. That's what will happen. I'm going to go deeper into this family unit revolution. Highly more detailed, more laws to back me up real soon. And then I'm going to start going through the book of Moses in the whole Bible, verse by verse, and I'm gonna do the decode. Not no Gnostic decode. You know what I mean? What does that stand for? Read between the lines as hard as I can. I'm talking about the decode of what God is really saying here. It's time to wake up. But we'll leave her there for today. Hopefully, I didn't step all over the line. Because, I'm angry too. But the goal here is to say, hell, I'm one of you. You know what I mean? That's what all our ancestors going to look at us all. Like if I tried to raise myself, but I ain't like them, what do you think they're going to think? John Thomas, no, boy, you're one of them. You need to work with your little friends. That's what they'll say. So I'm going to leave her there, and we'll continue these response videos later on. Have a good day.